Okay, so thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you for coming here for such a wonderful event. So today I'm going to talk about insects. First of all, I would like to ask you that does anyone love insects here? Wow, shake a hand. Thank you very much. Okay, so next question. Does anyone hate insects? Okay, thank you very much. This honesty is really good, I think. So, so my presentation, some pictures of insects are included. So I think that in my perspective, not gross insects are in my presentation, but as an insect lover, please don't, please be aware. Okay, so as the beginning of my presentation, I would like to show this number, 0.04%. This ratio seems really small, really small, but somehow this ratio is really important in a biological field. There is a fact that the number of named species is 1.5 million, 2.1 million so far. And the number of all species on Earth are estimated as 1 to 6 billion. So the number of named species so far accounts for only 0.04% so far. So when we illustrate the ratio, this big circle is all species on Earth. And this small circle, you may cannot see, is showing the ratio of named species. Really tiny. And some researchers tried to expand this circle. And the researchers, especially researcher in the field of taxonomy, in Japanese 分類学, is trying to expand this small circle. And taxonomy is now one of my research field. So today I'm going to talk about taxonomy. As I mentioned before, the biodiversity is really huge. And also, especially insects are highly diversified group. Insects are highly diversified. In fact, all organisms, as I said, the named species of all organisms is around 2 million. And in fact, insects account for 50% of all organisms. And I also want to mention that us, we, mammals, just 6,736 versus insects, 1 million. We are really small. We are a really small group of organisms. And even if you hate insects, somehow we cannot ignore insects. There is some fact that 80% of world's population regularly consume insects as edible insects. And 87% of all plant species are mostly pollinated by insects. So without insects, there are no cherry blossoms in spring. Or without insects, there is no any crops or vegetables that we eat regularly. And also, animal waste are decomposed and recycled by insects. So without insects, our cities, Fukuoka City, is filled with animal feces. So, in terms of these kind of benefits, somehow we should appreciate insects. We should not, I don't say we should love insects, but maybe we can recognize insects and somehow appreciate them. So let's move on to my more research topics. So here is my research material. So as you may see, this is a natural gold yen medal of Japanese yen, and these small insects are smaller than the circles of Goen circle. But in fact, these small insects are wasps. So you may, when you hear the word of wasps, you may imagine such kind of really dangerous things with dangerous needles. But in fact, these are all wasps, really, really tiny, like 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters, really, really tiny. And the color is also really different, like blue, green, or black. Really diversified groups. And to such wasps, as I said, my main research topic is taxonomy. And in the taxonomic field, I find undiscovered species, shinshu or nikisaishu in Japanese. And also, as an applied science, I research in the field of applied entomology. And in that field, I research biological control, which is controlling bad insects by good insects. So from now on, I'm talking about taxonomy and applied entomology. So first, I'm going to talk about taxonomy. Can anybody guess what this tree is? Okay. Wow, you're a genius. when I taught this topic, nobody answered, but you did. Wow. Well, that's really that's really surprising for me. So, as she said, what's your name? Juno-san. As Juno-san said, this tree is gajumaru. This tree is really, really huge, and this tree is in Okinawa Prefecture in Japan. And English name is Chinese banyan tree. And my research topics, wasps, lay eggs on these Chinese banyan, these gajumaru, lay eggs. And where does it lay eggs? You can see these kind of long twigs, long brown like beard things, and this kind of things called aerial root. It's a kind of root, kikon in Japanese, kikon, but different from the underground root. But the roots are around in the air, located in the air. And when we get closer to the aerial root, some roots are swollen. Some roots are swollen like this or this. And in fact, these swollen things are made by insects. So these swollen things are called insect galls. So this is my wasps. Not my wasps, but this is my research material, one of the research materials. And when these wasps lay eggs on aerial root, somehow this kind of aerial root swollen. And inside these insect galls, larvae of these wasps are cultivated, eating the tissue of plants. And we also found that these kind of wasps are undiscovered. So these species are new to science. So now I'm writing a thesis to describe this species. So that is one of my first topic of today. By the way, these are all galls. Galls are really morphologically diversified. Some kind of galls are on leaves. Some kind of galls are like cherry blossom flowers. Some kind of galls are just rolling the leaves. And some kind of galls are swollen, but root, but swollen in stem. So here I would like to say that galls are morphologically diversified, and more than 13,000 species are known to make these kind of galls. It means that 2% of insects make such galls. It's really, really huge diversity. And this is my graduate thesis topic. And actually, Yan Sensei is one of my supervisors. So, as I said, there are many insect galls. And this kind of galls are regularly made by gall niches, some kind of flies. And interestingly, some wasps are parasitize these niches. So because of this kind of ecology, this kind of wasps called parasitoid wasps. It means some kind of technical terms, but it's parasitize and some other insects. And in fact, I found 6 undiscovered species that parasitize this kind of gall niches. And now I wrote a thesis, and my thesis is under review. So I hope that this thesis could pass in the future. So these are the topics on taxonomy. Now I'm going to the topic of useful entomology. I mean applied entomology. So have you ever had stable fly? Maybe not. In Japanese, sashibae. Maybe not. Yeah. These kind of flies are terrible pests of domestic animals, like cattle, pigs, or horses. They suck their blood, like mosquitoes. And so the insects are really bad for their stress. The cows or cattle are really stressed when the stable fly is sucking their blood. But not only that, this kind of stable fly carries the viruses. It's called bovine leukosis. And when the cattle get some kind of viruses of bovine leukosis, cattle must be killed. So really dangerous viruses for cattle and also cattle farmers. And against such stable fly, naturally we use 1, 2, 3, 4 control methods. But in Japan, the biological control using natural enemies to control pests are lack. So now our lab try to enhance the biological control method against stable fly. By cultural control, physical control, chemical control, stable flies can be managed in small cattle farms. However, they're not applicable to large farms like ranches. So we need to propose control measures that fit to large-scale animals, large-scale farms. And such control method is biological control. So against stable fly, parasitoid wasps, again, the parasitic wasps which parasitize the stable fly is considered to be useful. So we investigate 7 prefectures to catch such parasitoid wasps. And we found 6 species. They are already known, not new species, but this kind of research is very basic information for biological control against the stable fly. And now we are trying to we are trying to find the most beneficial, most useful wasps to control the stable fly. So these are the stories of my research, but in addition to my research, I also do the outreach activity, which is musical. Sounds strange, but yeah, somehow I do the musicals, and which called Student Musical Club Italento. So when I was a first year student in undergraduate students, I established this musical group. The motto of this musical group is feeling and thinking through musical. So we make musicals themed various social problems like plastic waste, or biodiversity loss, or bullying. And this is one of the iconic event, which is biodiversity and us, insect lives matter. So in this event, I collaborated with Jan Sensei and Raymond. So that's the place where I met Raymond, actually. And in such musicals, we share our thoughts with audience and try to collaborate in the future with the audience to make world better. So this is my end of my presentation, and this is my QR code, my web page, and also this is my Instagram this is our Instagram, our musical group's Instagram. So if you are interested in, please try to look at it. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Kishin. What's our time looking? Oh, good. Excellent. So we got plenty of time for questions. 日本語でも OK な?
Okay,
yeah. So okay. Yeah. Please.
So you said that the biological control is not used in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? So because of lack of knowledge, or government control, or any other things?
Very nice question, I think, and both of them are reasons, I think. So, for example, in America or Europe, such parasitoid wasps are already used. But in Japan, no researchers researched such kind of useful wasps. So now we try to establish the way. And also, and also, government. I think government should pay more money to researchers to encourage such research.
Just in general. So.
Just in general, I think.
The government needs to give researchers more money.
So, you found 6 undiscovered, previously undiscovered wasps, and you wrote a thesis about it. And if it gets accepted, can you choose the name?
Sure.
Can one be built?
In that case, you should find the wasps, and then I can give you.
But you have rules about how to name it.
Yeah. Sure.
So you're gonna name it Kishin? Kishin 1, Kishin 2, Kishin 3?
Actually, the scientific name is based on Latin word. Yeah. So I named them as using the feature of the characteristic that they have. But after the scientific name, we have the name of researchers that who described the species. And in that section, of course, the species have a name of Inoue, and my supervisor Matsuo.
I could do 3 for Matsuo and 3 for you.
Actually, 3 for Inoue and Matsuo.
You can auction off the naming rights.
Sure.
Pay.
Maybe funny, yes. My question is, you said that in Europe they're already using wasps
Yes.
to control stable flies.
Yes.
Can you just apply that knowledge to Japan, or the species is different, so you need to do original research in Japan?
Wow, that's a really good question. And actually, same species are located in Europe and Japan, but different ecology. So, if we, when we want to apply the same species in Japan, first of all, we should research about the Japanese wasps ecology first, because they have different ecology. And also, we should not import these wasps from Europe because of the biodiversity loss problems.
I thought you said they have the same wasps in Japan as in Europe, so you don't need to import them.
But the different genetic diversity. The same species, but different gene.
But it might depend on what the difference means.
Okay.
Difference on the gene level or other level.
We concern the gene level. So gene is somehow different from Europe and Japanese.
Even though
one.
it's the same species,
They're different. They're different. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any risks with introducing the wasps to the capital?
Maybe. For example, one of the biggest concern is that if we introduce the wasps, they might destroy the ecosystem on the kettles. But the one fact is that through the humans' activity, I mean through the agriculture, somehow humans already destroy the ecosystem. So we need to correct. We need to correct the biodiversity. And one of the kindest measures to do that is biological control. Yeah. So I cannot say that there is no risks, but I would say that there is low risks.
You had a question.
In the book Silent Earth, the author talked about how the population of insects in general has declined by up to 90% since the 1960s.
Wow, you know very well.
Yeah, I read the last
Oh, really?
But his data was all based on Europe
Yes.
and the UK.
Yes.
Is a similar situation happening in Japan? Do you see?
I think so, but not comprehensive research have not been done yet. So maybe we should do that.
Yeah, how different do they have to be considered like different species? Because based on the pictures, they all look very similar to me. Yeah.
That's a really nice question. And to answer this question precisely, maybe you should be a taxonomist. But for example, look at this feature. The butt. Actually, this is the ovipositor seat. The parts they lay eggs. The needles they have, the wasps have. But look at this picture. They have no needles. And other differences: red, green, or black. There's also very different coloration. I can say more things, but maybe I think I should stop here because too scientific things. But yeah, for example, based on the morphological, I mean the shape differences.
Okay.
So I heard. Can I ask?
Uh,
Second time.
Let's go with somebody who has that, and then we'll go back.
Okay. Yeah.
So how do you find undiscovered species? There's I think two parts to the question. Like, how do you find these guys, and then how do you determine that they're not already in the set of 2 million that you already know?
Well, that's really a good question. And for the first questions, For the first question, oh, I'm sorry. What's your first question? I'm sorry.
How do you find it?
How do you find? How do I find? Okay. So, yeah, I collected goals from nature, from different prefectures, and cultivate them and wait until they emerged. Yeah, and almost nobody, no researchers try to identify these wasps. So there are many unremained, undiscovered species for now.
So part of the question again?
And okay, then okay, you have these guys that maybe they're unknown, but so you have this. How do you compare them to a catalog of 2 million other insects?
So, actually based on the species and also based on the specimens. So these wasps are located in a specific group of insects, which is genus. Have you ever had genus? So these wasps are same in terms of genus level. So relatively easy. It is I'm sorry. It is relatively easy to find which genus they are located. However, when we identify the genus, we try to compare each species which is located in the same genus. For example, this kind of wasps are located in a genus called Gastroencestrus. And Gastroencestrus has 151 species in this genus. So I gathered all sources which described each species, and we compare the morphological. We compare the shape differences, and after that we found some similar species. And in terms of the similar species, I went some type correction, which means very important specimens, and we compare the shapes.
No DNA testing.
Preferably, we should do the DNA testing, but some old specimens, they are not DNA record.
Sorry, Bill,
So as far as I understand, what you said is, we have in Japan we have a specific species of the wasp, but that we didn't recognize that the wasp has a parasitic influence on stable plant. So if you want to make the connection, like man-made connections between them, isn't that safe for the environment?
You mean man-made connection? Yeah,
Man-made-
sure.
Yeah, if you use the control,
Yeah.
the biological control, it means artificial connections.
That's a really controversial thing. Yeah, there always researchers concern them. But we first, before introducing such wasps to the cattle farms, we collect the host. I mean, we collected the flies first, and when the wasps emerged, and after the confirmation on the existence of the wasps locally, we introduced the wasps. So we don't want to introduce the wasps which are alien to the local place. We introduce just after the confirmation of the existence of plastic wasps.
So, after you cultivated these wasps and you went through and compared them to the 156 or something existing ones that were known, so you found 6 that were unknown.
Yes.
How much diversity though? How many did you find that were already known as well?
In terms of the specimens numbers, I gathered over 1,000 specimens, and in such specimens, maybe 20 specimens are in this genus. and all of the species in this genus are luckily undiscovered species.
Oh.
Yes, but you know, to find new species, lots of efforts are necessary.
Right, and that's 10 minutes. So, but you'll be around, and you have like actual specimens with you.
Yeah. For today, but I've heard some of you hate insects, so please don't look at it.
If you want to.
Yeah. So these are the so for example. This brown things is a pupa of fly. So, and this small, maybe you cannot see, is wasps. In the picture, the wasps is this one.
Did you collect them yourself?
Yes, sure.
And you put them yourself in there?
Sure.
Wow. Where do you buy that kind of thing?
This box,
Yeah, whatever.
I've given by my supervisor.
Ah,
I didn't buy it.
I don't know. Like maybe there was some.
It's kind of expensive.
Scientific dissect.
Yeah, so they parasite the pupa of flies. That's why we collected not only wasps but also pupa of the flies.
But how do you how to collect them? You see one, you kill it, and you collect it.
You can ask them after. So, you'll have your set like put your specimens around here. Or something,
Okay,
so
sure.
you can show them.
No.
All right, please give a round of applause to Kishin.